Hey everyone, it's Kai from Cool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Transformers Masterpiece MP-56 Trailbreaker. So it's always a good day when Takara finally release another G1 character in their Masterpiece series, this one being one of the original art crew. No idea what else is coming up after MP-57 Skyfire, but hopefully Jazz and Mirage are on the way because they have been a long time coming. From an accessories perspective, you get the usual collector card here, which does look pretty nice actually. I don't mind that sort of cartoon style there, so that's not too bad. Box wise, same sort of box style that you must be all familiar with by now. And this is officially licensed by Toyota, this being a Toyota Hilux from the 80s. But it is surprising that you don't see Toyota anywhere on the front cover. I think every other release they've had the official car brand on the front, but either way, that's the box. Comes with the usual instruction manual, which I don't really tend to use. I do flip through it just to see if there's anything interesting, and I couldn't find anything interesting about why they included this sticker sheet. So if you know why they've included this, let me know in the comments, because unless I'm blind, I can't see anything in the instructions explaining why this is included. It comes with the front cartoon style matte finish for the bumper. I'm not even going to bother showing you the way you swap it out. You pretty much lift up the hood there, pull this out, and then put that in. So it doesn't look too bad, but for me in my MP collection, I do love the cartoon style, but I do like the addition of some of that added bling. So on characters like Inferno and so on, where they have similar swap out pieces, I've always used the chrome or the sort of translucent plastic and so on the likes of Shockwave, etc. So I think it just adds that nice little extra bit of premium look to the characters. It comes with this radar dish thing, which attaches pretty easily. I think you just lift this bit up at the top here, like so, and then you just peg it in. I think it fits in fairly nicely there, so you can recreate that scene in the cartoon series if you want to do that sort of thing. But it looks pretty good as an option, just for the odd photo opportunity. It also comes with this alternate left-hand piece that you can swap out for either his normal hand, or I think he comes default out of the box with his little blaster or skirter thing. But for this thing, I can't actually remember where he used this in the cartoon, but I guess it's like some sort of grappling hand maybe, or some other shooting thing, or maybe it was the force field generator. I can't remember. But either way, always good to have those options. And similar to some of the newer MP figures, it comes with this shooting blast effect. And it's very nicely sort of translucent neon, so you don't really need any special lighting to make it pop in the photos and so on. So decent option there if you want to do those sorts of photos. And then the last couple of accessories are the swap out head plates, which are very nicely done, I have to say. I do like the metallic sheen on the eyes, the visor there, so you get the sort of screaming sculpt and then the smiling sculpt. And I definitely will be using the smiling sculpt. I like the difference in the collection, just having a few expressions here and there, and that does look pretty cartoon accurate. But now I'll give you guys a closer look in the car mode. Hold on. Alright, so here is the car mode up close, and overall I think it is pretty damn amazing. I love the paint application. I think pretty much all of these grey surfaces look to be painted. There might be the odd piece that is the sort of unpainted grey plastic, but for the most part, similar to the recent releases, there is a lot of paint on this figure. I love the Toyota there, love the sort of decals, and the use of the blue windows I think is a nice touch, not the sort of translucent grey or clear. Really, really makes it pop, and you can probably see the plastic underneath, showing that I haven't even transformed this yet into bot mode. The only part of the sculpt I probably don't like is this sort of bit hanging down at the back. which does look a little bit weird. But in the scheme of things, I think it does look pretty good. And by all accounts, it is pretty accurate to the Toyota Hilux models that you could buy in the 80s. I think there was some discussion about whether or not the placement of these rearview mirrors was accurate. I think for the most part they were meant to be here, but I have seen photos online where there were variants of the Hilux where the mirrors were there. So I don't know if those were custom or straight out of the factory, but by all what I've seen, it does look pretty damn accurate. So for the most part, it does look pretty clean. You sort of see some of the bot mode parts underneath, but I'm not too fussed about that. No one's going to sort of display their figure standing up like this in car mode, so I think that's okay. I think you can open the doors, which I'm not going to bother doing. This hood here you can open, but there is a point, if I just open it up here, you sort of need to force that open, and then you sort of get the view of some of the internal detailing and paint application that I've got there, which does look pretty nice for the odd sort of photo op. But what I was talking about was there, right at the tip of the hood here, there is a peg, and there is like a very small peg hole just at the tip, at the top of the hood there. So just be careful when you put that in, because you might chip some of the paint right at that edge. And it is hard to peg that in as you're trying to fold that down, so just be careful there. I initially had it like that, which obviously isn't all the way in, so you can sort of see the peg there, and if you sort of snap it in, you might chip off some of the paint. I've seen some videos where people have been able to sort of jam it in there like that and then close it in, but I haven't been able to do that really. I've had to sort of do that as best I can and then clip it into place. So I think I have seen a couple of tiny marks, so just be aware of that. But that is pretty much it in car mode. It does look pretty nice, and it fits in with the others in the series. But for now, I'm going to do the transformation off camera and give you my thoughts of the transformation and the bot mode. Hold on. Alright, so here he is all transformed, and I have to say, I think it looks fantastic. People have complained about some of the proportions, especially the waist here. I think some of the photos seem to be coming from different or bad angles, I think. But looking at the figure in hand from all sorts of different angles, I think the hips and the legs look perfectly fine. They come down, taper in towards the waist here, and then come out again. I think that looks perfectly fine. I guess the biggest gripe with the bot mode design, I think, is probably the side view, where these panels aren't ideal. I don't think that looks particularly good, having this sort of side blue window in the way there, and then of course the gappage that you can sort of see under the chin there through the chest. So that's not ideal either, but I guess from most views and most poses in my collection, you're going to see it from the side-on views like this, where that really doesn't make much of a difference. So that's similar to my thoughts on MP tracks, where there were a lot of complaints about the gappages and so on from the hood and so on. In the end, I don't think that's too big a deal. And by all intents and purposes, it does sort of hide the side here with the arms and so on, so it doesn't look too bad. The transformation, I definitely love how they've done the legs. The legs sort of reminded me of the new MP Hound, MP Starscream, how all the wheels and everything just folds together beautifully, and it all pegs in very nicely. So there's various pegs at the back here, on the sides and so on. It just comes to a very, very clean look, hiding all the wheels and everything away. So the way they've designed this, I think it would have been great if they had done that sort of, or taken that design philosophy for Ironhide and hidden the sort of ridiculous side panels that they had on his hips in a similar way, because the way they've hidden the wheels and all the panels here, it looks fantastic. Gets lots of articulation in the ankles, so you get all the ranges of motion that you would want in a masterpiece figure. The knees are nice and tight. You can get, that's only about 90 degrees, but for the most part, I think I'm not going to have mine in any too overly dynamic poses. I love the way they've got the hip panels there, similar to MP Optimus and so on, as they slide in under the hips there, and then you can sort of adjust them and twist them as you want. So no major issues there with any of the paint issues that I was worried about around the hips and chipping and so on. So that's all really nice there. The hardest part of the transformation is probably making sure the backpack is folded in correctly. Just make a note of the pegs that you've got inside there that you need to make sure you insert into the two holes at the top here. Make sure you push that as far as you can, and then when you insert the pegs at the bottom here and the final peg in the middle, so just push up slightly, and then make sure you sort of adjust the neck piece and this back area so that it has that nice silhouette, which is very cartoon accurate from what I've seen. So that is a pretty fantastic design. From the front, it all sort of folds in very nicely, so there's not too much gappage at the top there. I guess again, the side profile, if I get his arms out the way, he does look like he's got a bit of a pot belly there, but again, that's pretty cartoon accurate from what I remember and see of the cartoon show on YouTube and so on. So I think overall they've done a fantastic job in replicating that cartoon style for Trailbreaker. I guess the only other issue maybe is the way the shoulder joints here sort of protrude out. I read somewhere on the TFW forums that there was a way that you could rotate or fold the arms to have that collapse just a little bit more in, but when you pose it up, I guess they've got that there because of the butterfly joint, which is actually really nice and firm. You know, and that sort of dynamic pose out to the side and so on. I think the shoulder joints for mine is just fine. There is another discussion around the shoulder joint here, where apparently you are meant to be able to rotate just this top part out, but people have been doing some sort of mod where they've been taking the screws out and chipping away a little bit at the corner of somewhere so that you can fold that out. And I've seen other people just sort of force it through, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I don't think I'm going to have mine in doing any sort of crazy poses at all. So I'm happy with the way that it is, and I'm not going to be sort of doing any mods to my figures in that sort of way. But just to finish off, I'll grab a couple of the other figures for a side-by-side scale comparison. Hold on. Alright, so here is Trailbreaker with some of the other figures in the Autobot MP collection, with MP-44 Optimus, I can't remember now, 29 Ironhide, MP-17 plus Prowl, and MP-35-ish, I can't remember, or is it 45 Bumblebee at the bottom there. But as you can see, it scales pretty damn well in bot mode to the rest of the collection. It's on par with Ironhide and Ratchet, Inferno and Grapple, as you would expect for those characters. And then the sort of mid-tier Carbots with Prowl, Wheeljack, Sunstreaker, etc. and Hound are a little bit shorter. And then of course you get the tiny Bumblebee at the bottom there. So overall, if you've got these figures in your collection, it really is starting to look really good in collecting that whole ARC crew. So hopefully this year we have some more G1 announcements. It does seem like they're focused a lot on finishing off their train combiner, Raiden I think it's called. So hopefully they get that out of the way, and maybe hopefully even get into the Constructicons or Insecticons, because some more of the bad guys would be good as well. But I don't think there'll be too many complaints if they announce Hoist or Jazz or Mirage. I think there'll probably be a lot of celebrating happening if that was to happen this year and next year. But one can only hope. But until then, I hope you like my quick look at Trailbreaker. And can give the video a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for all the upcoming reviews I've got coming up next. I've got a few 1/6 scale figures coming, and some Storm Collectibles Street Fighter figures as well. So hopefully you can stick around for that, and until then, thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers, bye.